Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to create this crochet vest. To get started, here's what you will need. A 3.5mm crochet hook, 6 skeins of yarn. As shown, the label contains all the details including the brand, weight and fiber content. This will help you choose a similar yarn if you want the same result. You will also need a yarn needle and stitch markers. The stitch we will use is the half double crochet. First we will make a slip knot. Then we chain as many stitches as we need. After that, we add 2 more chains. Now we count those 2 extra chains, skip them, and go directly into the 3rd chain. Yarn over, insert the hook into the 3rd chain, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through all the loops on the hook. This step remains repetitive throughout the row. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through all the loops. You will keep repeating the same stitch for the entire row. Once you're done with this row, you will chain 2 extra stitches and turn your work. The 2 extra chains should be skipped. As a result, you should insert your hook into the 3rd chain. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through all the loops. Please remember to chain 2 extra stitches at the end of each row. Now that we have learned how the half double crochet works, I would like to share with you the pattern for this vest. For the front panel, I started my work with a foundation of 65 chains. So please don't forget to add the 2 extra chains that give us a total of 67, 65 for the foundation chain plus 2 extra. So each vertical bar represents a row, and the numbers underneath represent the row numbers. The plus and minus symbols shows where stitches are added or subtracted. This is how 4 rows look on a foundation of 12 chains. Since the pattern requires adding or subtracting 1 or 3 stitches, I'll show you how to do it. Let's start with adding 1 stitch to a row. Instead of adding 2 extra chains, we will stitch 3 extra chains, 2 plus the one additional chain we need. As a result, we need to skip the 2 loops and insert our hook into the 3rd loop we added. The steps remains the same, we're just repeating the same process. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through all the loops. Here is the result of adding 1 stitch. Now let's move on to adding 3 stitches. Instead of chaining 2 extra stitches at the end, we will chain 5 extra stitches, which is 2 plus 3. And turn our work and start in the 3rd chain from the hook. The rest of the steps remain the same. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through all loops. Now let's see how to decrease stitches in a row. To decrease by 3, we should keep the 3 loops left in a row. And remember to stitch 2 more chains. Yarn over, insert the hook into the 3rd loop, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through all loops. As you can see, we decreased it by 3 loops. I followed the same steps as before to skip 1 loop only. This is how it looks like when you skip 1 loop. Following the pattern, you will get a result similar to this, with a shape that looks like stairs. Moving on to the back panel. I started my work with a foundation of 85 chains. I made the front panel shorter than the back on purpose because I wanted this specific look. But if you prefer them to be the same length, you can adjust the foundation chain to suit your preference. Following this pattern, you will get a result similar to this. Since the front panel has a stair-like shape, I will show you how to get rid of it. First, I started with a slip knot. Turn your work so the stitch will be in the back. Insert your hook into the first loop and do a slip stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through all loops. Yarn over, insert your hook into the 2 following loops and pull through all loops. Yarn over, Insert your hook into the loop in the corner, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through all loops. Yarn over, insert your hook into the two following loops. Yarn over again and pull through all loops. Keep repeating these steps until the line looks straight. As shown, I tried to summarize the steps. I tried it on to see if it fits. I did quite the same thing with the back panel. To go from this to this by joining two loops using slip stitch only to tighten it. Moving on to the ribbon bands, I made in total 5 ribbon bands using slip stitch. The difference is in the foundation chain. 7 for the armhole ribbon, 10 for the neckline ribbon, 11 for the front waist ribbon, and 8 for the back waist band ribbon. First, you need to stitch as many chains as you need. I have 11 chains. In the end of each row, you need to add one more chain. Insert your hook into the second chain from the hook, yarn over and pull through all loops. Once you're done with the row, chain 1 and turn your work. Insert your hook into the second loop from the hook, yarn over and pull through all loops. As shown, I only insert my hook into the back loops. The steps remains the same until you achieve the wanted length. I started sewing the front and back panel together using a yarn needle, the same way I would sew anything else. After joining the panels, I noticed that the underarm area looked a bit large, so I used slip stitch to tighten it by joining two loops together. I joined the vest with ribbons using a crochet hook and the slip stitch technique. If you would like to have this scrunchie effect in the waistband, you should alternate between joining one loop and two loops. This will give you the effect without tightening it too much. And voila, here's the final result. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And finally, I have a recommendation for you. For the armhole ribbon, I originally made a simple rectangle, but I recommend shaping the ribbon by starting small and gradually increasing, beginning with a foundation chain of 2 stitches, and as you work each row, increase by 1 stitch.